Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today, I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxis map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. Starting off with Team 1 in the southwest-ish, ending with Team 2 in the northeast-ish. Starting off with Team 1's northwestern player, we have in glow-in-the-dark green, it is Giurago, depending if the J is pronounced as an H or not. He is an Aeon for this match as a 1400. To his southeast, we have in Snowware, it is Alex66. He is a UEF as an 1100. And rounding out Team 1's frontline, we have in Rust, it is Zelby Lykob. He is a UEF as well as a 1700. To the south, we have in Batman Gray, Suri playing as a Cybran. He is a 1300. And rounding out Team 1's lineup in Imperial Gray, it is Amon Ra playing as a UEF. He is a 2000 rated player, the highest rated player on Team 1 and the game overall. So with Team 1 side of the map, they have 3 UEF in Aeon in the north and a Cybran in the south. Starting off with Team 2 southeastern player, we have in Royal Blue, it is Janana. He is a UEF. He is a 1400. To the northeast west, we have in orange, the color orange, it is PM Tomke. I think I'm going to say maybe PM for short. He is a UEF. He is a 1300. To his northwest, we have in forest green, it is Bedaji Savopokan, or Bedaji for short. He is an Aeon. He is a 1600. To his north in Chevy Crimson, we have the UEF player of Mythologist. He is a 1400. And in Regal Purple to his southeast, it is the UEF player of Blinchik. He is a 1900, the highest rated player on Team 2. So over Team 2 side of the map, they have 4 UEF and 1 Aeon. No Cybran Tech and no Seraphim Tech for Team 2 and no Seraphim Tech for Team 1, which means there are no Seraphim players. Apologies to those that love to arrive late, but also make grand entrances at the same time. Hopefully you enjoy the game nonetheless. And for these 10 players on the map, let's take a look at the reclaim situation. I expect it to be a decently huge number. Currently sitting at 83,000 mass, and reclaim makes it over 8,000 mass per player. Always worth writing home about with that high of a number per player. Taking a look at the distribution, nothing in the middle of the map, not only for reclaim but also for mexes. But there is a ton of reclaim on the northwest and southeastern sides. There is some reclaim in the main bases as well as a little bit outside of that, but a majority of it does kind of lead to being a little bit more in the middle of the map, which is definitely what we like to see, players fighting over reclaim or mexes or what have you. Taking a look, of course, at the mex locations for Team 1 side of the map being the southwest team, there is a kind of dividing line of just no mexes. Right here, there is a tri-mix and a quad mix in the southeast, and there is a quad mix in the northwest. Besides that, there are a splattering of mixes in the middle, right in front of Zelby, and there are a couple of mixes in the back line. So players do have some expansionary mixes to grab, but they will heavily rely on the reclaim, of course, given it is at, again, 83,000 mass, which is a decent amount of reclaim. I mean, we've seen, I think the total reclaim count I've seen is like 400,000, some crazy amount. Taking a look at early player movements, we have 1v1 in the northwest between Hirago and Mythologist. We have in the southeast, most likely it's going to be Suri versus Janena. And then in the middle, looks like it's going to be pretty much everybody else. Team 1 and Team 2's players have pretty much left their main bases besides Zelby and Bedaji. And that's pretty much everybody moving to the front line, to the middle of the map. So let's take a look, of course, at where our players are starting to send their early scouts and units. We have a couple of units skirmishing in the south from Janana against Suri. Again, I know somebody told me how to pronounce it. I forget how to actually pronounce it. I was practicing at some point a while ago. I just completely forgot, so apologies for that. In the north, we have Hidaka going after some giant rocks, small rocks, and little rocks. And we have Mythologist moving in. That actually might be the first Combi-Com action of the game. Either it's accidental or on purpose or on both. But there it is. Shot for shots between the two players. Team 1's Mythologist is going to be ahead a tiny bit in the hit points, being 12,000 versus 11. And I will note that out of the 10 players in the game, there are 7 UEF. 1 on Team 2 that isn't UEF, and 2 on Team 1 that are not UEF as well. So I expect, of course, lots of Percys, lots of Fat Boys, and maybe we'll see some satellite shenanigans, because, you know, that's always fun to see. Again, with 7 players in UEF tech, it'd be flabbergasted if there's not a single satellite built this game. We see possible Convicom action now in the middle between PM, and I would assume Zelby would probably be the one he would face off. Amon-Ra is retreating, moving to intercept the forces from Jenna. Looks like it's going to be more of a 2v1 scenario on that southern side with him moving in to intercept. We do see Team 1's Hirago actually pushing back Mythologist. Hirago continuing to just shoot into that comms chassis. Also Aurora coming to assist. Not looking too great for him. He needs to get some reinforcements immediately. He has some scouts and some strikers inbound, and it looks like that will be enough to drive the comm away, at least push back just slightly, so that way he can get out of there. And it looks like shots are going down between these two comms in the middle. So again, it's UEF versus UEF there. No hit point advantages one way or the other. A little bit in favor for the unit count, but nothing too crazy in Team 1's favor for now. You do see those forces are starting to conglomerate on the southern side. We have Jenana, or not Jenana, but that Jenana sending him south, and the comm of Suri is making his way northward to grab this quad next position. In the north, we have gun speed started on board. Bettergy's comm, he's done with that. He has range also on board, and Mythologist going for his gun speed range upgrade. Currently, everybody except for Bettergy has not been in their base for a minute. But it looks like maybe he's going to head westward. Maybe he's going to head southward. Who knows? He's just walking around his base for now. We do see Blinchik over here in the middle as well, kind of just having some fun walking in front of some mexes from Bettergy. And no idea what he's really up to besides building an air facility in the background. T2 air is done here for him, and T2 air is done for Team 1. Going for the customary 2 T2 P-gens, and then, of course, the T3 upgrade. Gun started on board Zelby's comm. T2 started on board Blinchik's comm in the middle. Again, some support inbound from his teammate, but nothing really except for one engineer. He's probably going to be more of a defensive comm while his air gets up to snuff. Gun almost done in the north for Mythologist, and Hirago's still reclaiming. 7 minutes in, what are the reclaim totals here for both teams? 44 and 42, so every little scrap of mass that started in this game, at least in terms of the count, in terms of the total, has now been scooped up. Of course, there is still a ton to still scoop up, but it was from 83,000 down to now 15. So again, wrecks and all that sort of stuff from newly built units are now littering the environment. Need to recycle those units and build more stuff out of it. We do see a little bit more pushback outbound from Team 1. And again, it's still a 1v1. We have Amon-Ra just kind of hanging out over here. Looks like he's just going to be patrolling here just in case any units from the east get past Team 1. Suri, we do see he's going for gun. Speaking of which, he is the only Cybran commander in the game. That is something to point out, that he has those bricks, he has the Monkey Lords and the crabs, and I would assume he's going to go for Monkey Lord soon because, again, he has that advantage having the cheapest experimental in said game. Speed start on board Hirago's comm, probably going to go for range after that. Nano also being built on Mythologist's comm, so that way he can get the hit points back up to full. We do see that Team 2 forming a nice little wall section, trying to curtail the movement from Team 1 and forcing them more into this avenue, or even, you know, this avenue, but looks like it's going to be more this one. Team 1, Zelby, speaking of which, though, has now pushed across the 50% mark and is now trying to make his way into PM's territory. We'll see how far he gets with that. Speed almost done on board. Hirago's comm. Nano almost done for Mythologist. That will favor Team 2. And if he engages the comm of Hirago, that will be a win for Team 2. Stealth on board, or coming online soon here for Suri. He has a gun on board. And it looks like no upgrade started for Jenana in the east. Range also started on board Hirago's comm in the north. Not necessarily Aeon Sniper Commander yet, but we should see that if he decides to do so. He probably will, given it is a 1v1. That'd give him a decent advantage and allow him to maybe slightly push back Team 2 in the north. But Team 1, Zelby still just push, not letting up the gas. We do see guns started onboard PM's comm. That will help, but with the gun comm already online for Zelby, I don't know how long he'll be there. Again, there is something to be cautious about, but the fact that 10 minutes in, Corsairs are going to be that popular, other T2 fighter bombers, but he needs to be careful unless he wants to be sniped early on. So he does have some support nearby. Needs to get some flag, mobile shielding, something to assist just in case. And it looks like he's actually going to push northward and try to intercept Team 2's Abetergy and Blinchik. Blinchik is rooted to the spot, going for a gun upgrade. We have Alex 66 over here to the west, going for a little bit of PD creeping to slowly push into Team 2's position. And it looks like with Zelby, he's going to fall back, getting his units to push in and help deter Team 2's ability to push back. And Blinchik coming in to get a little bit of veterancy from this drop. He will kill one unit off, but he's still making his way to first star, barely even just tickling that T1 star count or required kill count. We do see Mythologist being hit by a ton of Aurora once again, but able to still hit Hirago's comm. It looks like Blazers are inbound, and he is underneath some shield coverage, and Mythologist is falling back, has a parashield, has some pillars. So it's a little bit of a better mix for him because he was really looking not great. He could have actually been killed off if Team 1 kept the pressure on him. But again, killing a player off this early in the game, not necessarily the best idea. Unless you're going for a big ticket item like Blinchik of Team 2 or Amon-Ra of Team 1. T3 air online, speaking of which, for him and for Blinchik, and expanding their air as we speak. Nano almost done for Sudi in the south. We do see those forces for Team 2's Mythologists have been dealt with. And now all these units from Team 1's Hirago are pushing northward. Looks like they're trying to just wipe out everything up here on the northern edge. And shots still raining in on Mythologist's comm. He's sitting at 10,000 hit points, 2-star veterancy versus Hirago, who's at 6,000, 1-star veterancy. And again, 62 hit points a second versus 16. That will heavily favor Team 2, of course, and T2PD now coming online. That will drive back Hirago and might backfire and kill him off. But we will see those PD and barely warned range for a couple of seconds. He is dropping hit points. We see more blazes inbound. Overcharge kills off another blaze. He's up to almost 3-star veterancy. Hirago is dropping into the red. I just want to check in case any crazy other things happen. We do have Blinchik on a transport moving in to intercept the forces from Hirago. Hirago getting another asylum to protect. Mythologist dropping below 3,000 hit points. Needs to back up just in case it's a murder-suicide situation. Blazes continue to push. Drop him below. Nope, they're not going to drop him below 2,000 now. And with Blinchik transporting his comm up there to stop the push, it will be a stopping of the bleed for Team 2. Close kills for both teams on the northern side, but this wasn't enough one way or the other. We have in the more middle, we have Zelby going against PM. It's gun versus gun, 1-star versus none. Almost actually scratch that, 1-star versus 1-star. So 13,200 versus 13,200 total, but he's sitting at less than 10,000. So advantage will go to Team 1. Zelby, more T2PD coming online. And again, that Alex continuing to PD creep in the north. His comm has actually fallen back to his base, going for T2 engineering suite, so he can build those PD personally. Overcharge will wipe out almost another T2 PD emplacement. And I don't know, PM is dropping hit points a decent amount. Another pillar is online. He's at almost 2-star. There it is, 2-star veterancy. He's back up into the yellow. And that should be enough to drive back Zelby. But in the south, we have Sudi pushing in to essentially wipe out the frontline position for Jenana. He has a nice little Percy online, so he has to be careful. But again, Nano's online here for Sudi in the south, so he's regenerating at 84 hit points a second. Again, I will apologize again. I need to find where I put the message about how to actually pronounce his name. I think it's like Hurry, but Suri. I think that's how it is. I think that's how I remembered it. Hurry, Suri. So Suri, I think. See, in my brain, I just can't make it work in my brain. Hurry, Suri. There we go. I just have to say it enough times and maybe it'll stick. Shield started on board. Bettergy's comm, definitely a sensible choice. He's going to get 8,000 additional hit points from that. T3 land online for him. And T3 land pretty much online for everybody except for Mythologist. The one for PM is almost done. ASF stacking quite nicely for Team 1. Possible air engagement happened not necessarily earlier ago, but there's a couple of ASFs hanging out in the north for Team 2's Blinchik. T2 land almost done. sorry, T3, 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 and T2. So 4 of the 5 players on Team 1 almost have T3 land or air tech. We do see a nice little Harbinger running around his shield, almost regen. Percy inbound. Shield will not come online and will be denied. T2 started here for PM. Shield started for Hidalgo. Definitely a smart choice. Going to get 8,000 additional hit points for him. And now we see 2 players in the north for Team 2. Air player Blinchik and Mythologist in the north. We have 2 in the middle. 1 in the middle for Team 1. The other player for Team 1, Alex, has fallen back, going for T3 Engineering Suite. And in the south, we have Jenna behind his main base, and Suri on the front line, pushing ever so slightly forward. He's dealing with a Percy issue, but shouldn't be too much longer before that's dealt with. 15 minutes on the clock. Eco situation. Team 1 heavily, not heavily, but decently in the lead. 150 mass income for them, and that's partially driven by, I would assume, T3 mexes, but they do control a little bit more of the map. I wouldn't say 50-50, but, or sorry, 60-40. I'd say probably like 53 to 47. Trimex position almost done in the south. And Team 1 is denied a quad mex position for Team 2. And also a Trimex position, but they claimed it, so they're getting more mass in that regard. We still have a couple of players in the game still below 100 mass. They're being Mythologist and PM, but everybody else is at least above that, with the leader being Blinchik at 200 for the game. And we have 3 players essentially at the exact same amount of eco, 173, 172, 172 for Amon-Ra, Zelby, and Suri. And actually, no, Alex is above that 180. So lots of mass being produced by Team 1. Team 2 actually falling even further behind at almost 200 mass behind Team 1. Shield almost done on Hirago's comm. I don't think we're seeing Aeon Sniper Commander yet. It's Mini Tank and Mini Sniper, or I should say just regular comm, no sniper. T3 started on board. Blinchik's comm. He's probably going to go for Ravagers just to secure this position, because they are essentially forming their own little kill box. We'll see if that ends up working for them or not. Kind of quiet in the most part. We have a couple of Percys going after PM's comm. PM drops into the 3,000 range, and 2 Percys could have been enough to kill him off. At least those 2 could have one-tapped him essentially at that point. But again, it's another one of those. I thought Overcharge was stronger. He just needs more E-storage, I would assume. Let's see. I mean, I have seen players one-tap Percys, so I don't... Maybe he just didn't have enough storage at the point, I would assume. And now we have the siege of the base here for Team 1. He's actually falling back. There is a nice little spearhead. A couple of them online. I thought I heard an explosion, but it was not what I thought it was. No T3 Omni online for anybody as of yet that I've noticed. This is one of the smaller maps. It's probably about a 13 by 13. I can't even see the north or southern edge of the playable space in terms of max playable space. So it is a smaller map, which is perfectly fine. But now we have Mythologist on the front line again, now being shot up by Harbingers. He's at 4-star vet, almost on his 5th. And still no kills for anybody yet. 18-18 on the clock. We have Hirago pushing him with his shield upgrade. Needs to be careful because Ravager could easily wipe that shield pretty quickly, especially with overcharges going in. Mythologist still trying to do his best to keep the front line alive. Bombers inbound to thin out the shielding. Looks like that's maybe what they targeted. Maybe, possibly, maybe. A couple of Evensongs going to get killed off by that fire from those Scorchers. And now the army for Team 1 is heading northward. Another overcharge lands in the front of Hirago's shield. And 10,000 hit points versus a total of almost 12. And overcharges going between both of them. Shield started on board. Blinchik's comm right in front of the action. It's going up pretty quickly. And now we have Harbingers in the middle facing off against Percys and some Ravagers. Ravagers targeting Bettergy's comm. And they are laying into that shield, almost taking out half of its capacity already. Another one is done. And Harbingers inbound to deal with that horde of engineers to build that up. Bettergy's trying to distract those shots as much as possible. The shield is completely depleted, however. And not enough Percys on the scene for Team 1, which means those Ravagers will be dealt with soon. But Bettergy dropping hit points incredibly fast. Needs to watch out. Oh, another Ravager gone. One more remains. He's not looking too hot, but looks like he's dealt with most of the Ravagers at this point. And now we see an attack inbound from Team 2. Attack still mounting for Team 1. And both these players still staying with it. 5-star vet versus 2-star vet. And his shield is almost depleted. In the south, Surrey has been pushed back a little bit. He has Gun and Nano on board. 17,000 hit points in 3-star vet. A couple of those nasty little spearheads ripping through all of the TMD. T2 Air online for Zelby. Maybe some Janus are on the cards for him. And nothing else that I see that's a concern so far. Omni online for Team 2. No Omni online for Team 1. Definitely a missed opportunity then. No more Percy's inbound to cover the base, but a little too late now. And it looks like Team 2 on the eastern front is going to maybe just push southward, at least specifically PM. He's kind of almost walled himself off from any sort of avenues that way. But it's almost better off to just hold up on these little ridges here. Just build PD and artillery and stuff rather than just trying to hold right there. Rash started on board his comm there. He is in the yellow, but again, he didn't go for Nano. And that's from the earlier attack from those Percys. 20 minutes on the clock, and everybody made it past 20 minutes. Love to see it. We have a transport picking up. Blinchik, once again, probably wants to upgrade a Continental just in case. I would hate for him to just explode in the air. And push back in the north. Looks like they opened up a little bit of that wall section. Titans moving in, killing off a couple of mexes. They'll kill off, looks like maybe a couple more. Maybe they'll reach there in time. But units are inbound to intercept. I don't... let's see, what's the time on that? 30 seconds. Time on that, 20 seconds. So, probably not. Team 1 bombers inbound, dealing with more of the TMD. Maybe attack missile snipe is on the cards for somebody. GC done for Team 2's Beregi, going for his second one now. 99,999 hit points on board. Can't go for the even 100,000. Just has to be like that, I guess, for the memes. Looks like the Titans are going to fall back. And now that preliminary base that was being built is now denied for Hirago. It's either Hirago and it's Jirago. It's one of those. I want to say it's Hirago with a H sounding J, Spanish situation. Anyway. Yeah, we have TAC missiles inbound from Team 2's Beregi, and there is some actually there's TMLs here, not even TMD. There is one TMD, but that mech does get protected. TAC missiles are building up, some of them fully loaded, and they're launching on tons of mexes and TML positions. It looks like TAC missiles inbound. That's a lot of missiles for one mass extractor, especially a Team 1. Now they're going for that mech. They thought maybe it was T2. There is some TMD here. They're going to grab some of the missiles. They don't grab all of them. That's 2 mass a second, but I don't think it was worth the missile. That's for sure. Attack, says Alex, onto that GC. I don't know if there's enough Percys here. A couple of Harbingers inbound to assist. They'll deal a decent amount of damage to that GC, but again, there is some PD as well. So all the Percys weren't here. So I don't think it's going to be enough. The GC does going to rank in veterancy. That definitely won't help. That will most likely favor Team 2. Unless Team 1 can grab the GC before it kills off all the other Percys, then maybe. But who knows? TAC missiles being pointed at. Say, hey, attack that GC. We have attack vector inbound from the south. Aloha coming to say hi and goodbye. And it looks like GC moves in time. And unfortunately, we'll wipe out that base for Alex. I mean, he didn't really have that much of a base there at that point. Anyways, TAC missiles inbound, going for another T2 mechs, it looks like. Some of them will be grabbed, but some of them will still make it to their target. 20,000 hit points remain. We have Titans down the middle. Going to wipe out the quad mix position in the west for Team 1. Team 1, in terms of eco, 1.2, 1.1. Team 2 has caught up considerably. It's now at 1.1, 1.0. The numbers keep fluctuating. Ras almost done, but started here for Amon-Ra in the middle. Fat Boy online for Team 1. There it is again with 7 UEF players. There's a Fat Boy for Team 2. Another GC online. Shield started on board. Mythologist is calm. ASF stacking up over here. And there is a Moleculoid down here. Nothing down here in Experimental Tech for Team 2, but there are Percys, so that can wipe out Experimentals pretty quickly. Looks like a couple of mexes were eliminated from some TAC missile snipes or not parachutes, but spearheads. Looks like that's actually what they were. That GC will not make it home, but it'll make it pretty close to the front line. Oh, nope, still, nope. Oh, there it goes. It's like, no, it makes it home. Another mix is gone for Team 1. Those spearheads just really killing a lot of eco off here for Team 1 collectively. It's going to be Fat Boy v Fat Boy in the middle and a GC mixed in there as well. Does Team 1 know about it? No, they do not. So that is unfortunate. I do see an Omni, though, online somewhere. Oh, it's back here. Okay. Team 2 is a little bit more central, so they see a little bit more of the map. Monkey Lord pushing, at least with the Omni, pushing in. Couple of Percies, couple of Triads. Looks like the Monkey Lord going to prioritize the Percies. That's actually probably a good idea because they deal so much damage. And there goes another set of Triads. More Percies inbound to cut off any sort of advancement. Mexes are eliminated anyways. Team 2 drops below 1,000 mass per second. GC going to push in. There's really nothing in the middle for Team 1. Fat Boy falling back because of the GC. And tons of T2 units now flooding the scene from PM. He's getting a lot of those T2 facilities online, getting some T3s as well. SMD coming online. Love to see that. Another GC almost in the green, actually. And air grid still being expanded upon for Team 2. Should be for Team 1 as well. Actually, not as expanded upon, really decentralizing it. As a couple of facilities here, more here, and then even more here, with M1 Ra being shielded in that position. Monkey Lord is not really gonna make it, I would think. There are some Ravagers kind of driving Team 1 eastward. And that GC did get driven back by the Fat Boy, but still, look at this. 3, 4 mexes down and more on the way. Two more are going to probably be killed off here shortly. And some conversation about air for Team 1, about something. Who knows? Looks like he gave over a couple of ASF for something. Fat Boy in the middle. Some shielding being built for the Fat Boy, and he's actually just going to walk or trundle this way, actually. We have a Fat Boy over here to the east for Team 2's Jenana. And against 2 Monkey Lords, especially one heavily damaged, that should be more than enough to drive Team 1 back. Suri getting another experimental going from Mega with this time. There it is. There it is. Satellite now started for Zelby. So UEF doing UEF things. Love to see UEF doing UEF things. And is that a nuke? No, that's an SMD. That's a shield. Actually, that's a stealth field. That's not even a shield. Still real action in the north. A couple of bombers, but nothing too crazy. No second Fat Boy online for Team 1 as of yet. Alex actually going to go for one now. Again, we have the one being built next to the satellite, and Crab almost done in the south. We have the Fat Boy pushing in. That's going to help Team 2 at least reclaim a section of the map. Speaking of reclaim, Team 1 and Team 2 almost the exact same. 120,000 mass for each team. 240 mass, 1,000 mass reclaimed by both teams. Getting a ton of shields online for whatever reason. More artillery. It looks like it's just going to be a little bit of artillery creep from Team 2. Just, fire base it all the way to Team 1 side of the map, maybe. Satellite, about 50%. P-Gen coming online. Fat Boy coming online. We have ASF now down here. Still no big ASF fight yet. Team 1's Amon-Ra sitting at 670. Team 2's Blinchik sitting at 135. So a little bit in favor for Team 1. It could come down to a turn. Maybe nuke spotted by Team 1. Actually, that was a nuke. That wasn't an SMD. Apologies. It looked like an SMD. But there it is. First nuke of the game has been spotted. Team 1's going to go heavy SMDs now. And is there an SMD online anywhere? Nope. They're going to build one right now. And they might be able to build it fast enough. Nuke is online for Team 1's Amon-Ra. He's not heavily loading it yet, but it is built. Does Team 2 know about it? Yes, they do. Not pointed out yet. Lots of momentum shift in Team 2's direction in the south. We have a Crab and 2 monkeys. Second Megalith coming online. We have Fat Boy almost done. Fat Boy almost in the green. And it's still 1v1 over here. We have a GC kind of just, hey, how's it going? Kind of peeking his head over the top of that cliff there. Hey, how's it going? It's just like lasering whatever he can. That little TAC missile base wiped out. I think that was for yeah, I think that was for Alex. Team S. Sorry, that's Team D. That's SMD coming online. GC online in the north as well. Axe finishes that Fat Boy. And we have a little bit of distraction going down. A couple of these Tickle Cannon Cerberus are online, as well as a couple of T3. Actually, I can say SAM sites because there's no Seraphim, so they are all SAM sites in the game. And Fat Boy raining in on the healthier Monkey Lord, the one that's heavily damaged, still hanging out in the background. Fat Boy not moving yet, but should be moving soon. And now it's just going to be Fat Boy v Fat Boy in the middle at some point. Maybe 2v1 Fat Boy. Second GC online as well. Third GC still going, but Nuke is being heavily assisted by Team 2. Nuke being not heavily assisted yet, but it's kind of assisted, kind of not. Is there going to be an SMD loaded in time? Maybe. I think Team 2's best chance is to go after the one from Amon-Ra. Maybe it's a trade, maybe it's not. Team 2, do you have adequate SMDs? Maybe that'll cover. Ooh, close, but I don't think so. It's going to maybe clip it. You need one in the middle right here. ASF not engaging as of yet. T2 Stinger's online, and Megalith's still trying to push to get that Fat Boy. This is the benefit of the Fat Boy, is it can fire while it's moving backward. The Crab can do the same, but not the exact same. It moves heavily slowly, though. But Fat Boy now in range of that Megalith, and that Fat Boy is not going to make it home to dinner. Nope, there it is. Megalith kills off the Fat Boy and is going to fall back. Deals with that issue quite easily, or quite nicely, I should say. Did lose more than half its hit points, though. So, trade range versus hit points. Fat Boy almost done for Zelby. Novak still at about 50-odd%. Team 2's Nuke is almost loaded. Team 1's Nuke. It's catching up. SMD is being loaded as well, but I don't think this one will load in time. I'm 1v3 really, says Hirago. I can't stop this. There's a GC inbound. There's really not a whole lot, though, for Mythologist on that north side, though. Looks like there was a fight earlier. Yeah, it looks like that GC's down. So, yeah, that was denied by Team 2. You get a little bit of reclaim there. We have 4 experimentals down in the south for Team 1. This could be a weak point for Team 1. Sorry, for Team 2. As there's really nothing over here besides a couple of Perseus. Nuke maybe has been spotted by Team 2. Maybe. Help, says Hirago in the north. That GC is slowly inbound, but it's going to take a little bit of time to catch up to him. GC for him might actually finish in time. Eco is barely favoring Team 2 now. And now I will note, at 30, almost 2 minutes on the clock, neither team has lost a player. And with 3 Fat Boys online for Team 1 in the middle, that might be enough to crack the shielding. There is a couple of artillery emplacements. There's not a whole lot, though. And it looks like that Fat Boy has a decent amount of parashield assistance. So if these 2 Fat Boys were actually to push in and assist, that might be way more than enough to deal with that position. And GC is inbound. GC for him is at 33% and climbing. Nuke is loaded. Nuke is outbound. It's going heavily to the west. It will actually hit the air grid, and Team 1 launches their own nuke. Is it going to be a trade? I think it's actually further to the east. The SMD is loaded. So this nuke from Team 1 might actually crash. Might be shot down. And here comes SMD. Was not loaded in time. No. And the nuke will land for Team 2 onto Team 1. Will it be shot down by Team 1? No. It's going to be a kaboom. And a kaboom. So both nukes kill off each other. And a little damage to the air grid for Team 1. Actually, that's not too bad. Team 2's Bettergy actually takes, I think, more of a loss because he loses at least a chunk of his main base. And GC runs over the engineers that were building that GC. It drops into the lowish reds. T3 Max might be gone. Another T3 Max might be gone here shortly, but that might be the only thing that Hirago loses. He saves his last T3 Max. And that T2 P-Gen might not make it. Nope, it's gone. That SMD, how far? Oh, yeah, just look at that. Barely eking by. I thought for sure it'd be caught, but ooh, that was close. Second Fat Boy online for Team 2's Mythologist. We have another Fat Boy online for Team 2 in the east. Satellite is still not done. Another Fat Boy almost done. Surrey getting some assistance building that. Well, actually, he got gifted an engineer who is helping him build that, I should say. Airfight still hasn't happened yet. Monkey Lord is down. Second Monkey Lord is down. Crab, again, heavily damaged. Team 1 not engaging a couple of these gunships. Probably might want to save this. Crab. The Crab is at 20,000 hit points and falling. ASF still not responding. Team 1 facing off against 250 versus Team 1's 260, so it's about even. That Crab will die, trying to get underneath more AA protection, but it won't make it. And that second Megalith will be perfectly fine. ASF's not getting there in time to save it. Unfortunate. Then we have two Fat... What happened to that? Did that other Fat Boy die? No, it's over here. Where is this? Why is it... Oh, it's going over here to assist the Western Front. Team 1... That doesn't make sense. Team 2... There's no way Team 2's up 2.3. That'd be insane. Unless they had a Paragon somewhere. 34 minutes? It's possible, but very, very unlikely. Reggie essentially knocked out of the game for a while. No really expansions on the air grid for Team 2's Blinchick. No Billy Nukes. No Game Enders yet. 35 minutes on the clock. One satellite still not done, but we have seen it at least. And nothing really too crazy. Again, you would expect more bigger things in a game with 7 UEF players, but they're being very standoffish. But I don't blame them because they're building Fat Boys, they're building artillery, they're building what UEFs build. And we see that currently here. Just tons of shielding, artillery, and a Fat Boy or two. So really just driving the point home of go away with your stuff. Don't come near me. Looks like shields are down for Zelby. Looks like he's really trying to finish off that satellite. Second Fat Boy started once again. Looks like it's just going to be UEF warfare at this point. The Cybrands, even though they have really good direct fire weapon systems on board their Megalith and Monkey Lord, the Fat Boy range is just more than enough to be like, yeah, it's not really worth it. In the north, still nothing really has happened. Team 2 got a little bit more reclaim from Team 1, but nothing too crazy. But they are actually starting to pull away. 240 versus 160 in terms of reclaim. And Team 1 still barely in the lead for total mass recruit, but that won't last long. Team 2 is ecoing not super hard, but decent. It's 1.4 to 1.1. Satellite is still not done. I think it's about 10 minutes now that thing's been building. Team 2, are you building anything? Oh, look at that. Hey, look at it. UEF doing UEF things. Yay, gotta love it. And other UEF doing UEF things? No, just Fat Boy. Okay, so one UEF on each team doing UEF things. Hey, no, we got a second one. Hey. There they are. And we have Fat Boy pushed pretty far forward. It's outside of its shield range, or its main shielding range. Or Fat Boy pushing in here from Zelby. This might be one of those games where there's just a slow build up, and then everything just happens all at once. Satellite still not done. Still not done. Team 2 is going to finish. Yeah, Team 2 finished theirs before Team 1 did. They're going to get more of them online. I love all the other shieldings. Wish there was, 1,000 more of them, but at least they're getting one of them online now. Should have been built before the satellite was built, but you know how I am about shields. Build them early, build a lot of them, and supply them with a bunch of power and assistance with engineers. And Fat Boy in the west for Alex, not looking too hot. Oh, looks like it's out of range now. Megalith being punished by 2 Fat Boys and a satellite being punished. Oh, sorry, punishing that Fat Boy. And that satellite for Team 1 Zelby still not online. Nuke is rebuilt and reloading. Team 2, they have adequate SMD protection at this point. I think every base has at least one. Some bases have double, technically, because PM has 2 from Blinchick and himself. One over here, not loaded yet, but almost loaded. That might be another target to maybe go off the Mythologist or something. You could wipe out the middle, but this one is not loaded yet. So if it loads fast enough, they might be able to wipe out the middle of the map. But still, satellite finally done for Team 1 Zelby. Team 2 has their second one in the yellow now. 38 minutes on the clock. Still nobody is dead. Maybe this will be the first game of the channel that nobody dies. I mean, especially in ladder matches, you might as well try with a telemaser or something. But still, I think there's been a couple games where only one player has died, but no games where nobody has died. So we will see if it happens today or not. No defense, but air fight does finally happen. 38 minutes on the clock, and it's UEF versus UEF. I think a tiny bit of AA somewhere. Looks like to the north from Bedergy, but it's almost a clean sweep for Amon-Ra. Gunship sitting on the floor. That's probably not a good place to have them sit. And that's a lot of dead stuff. And those gunships are going to die here shortly. There they go. Just getting ripped apart by all those missiles or whatever. Those machine gun, whatever the things the wasps shoot. And that is a huge win for Team 1. Is that air? Is that We Own Air? That is We Own Air for Team 1. Over 200 ASFs more than Team 2. Fat Boys in the north. Strap Bomber inbound from Team 2. Doesn't look like it's going to do a whole lot, honestly. Strap Bomb going to hit the shielding, but again, like I said, not going to do a whole lot. Satellite over the top for Team 1. Second satellite online for Jenana. Satellite now moving into where the satellite for Team 1 is, targeting the T3 mixes for Suri. And still only one Fat Boy in the middle for Alex. Always going for satellite. That's what he's doing with all that eco. What is he doing with all his eco? And GC, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be worth it. It's in the red already. And Team 2 has spotted the satellite. We have two Fat Boys in the north versus a GC and a Fat Boy. I don't know if that'll favor Team 1 by any means. Artillery's coming online now. We have two Fat Boys, of course, GC in the background. SMD is not loaded, but the nuke is not loaded as well. So that should be enough for that nuke to be denied by Team 2. Two satellites down here going after more of the mexes. Crab is down. Fat Boy also down due to the crash damage. That doesn't help. Again, it wouldn't have been killed off entirely by the crash damage, but still, looks like it was already damaged. Sat pointed out by PM. And Fat Boy pressure still mounting in the north. Team 2 doing a very good job of just eating away a lot of that eco in the south for Team 1. The nuke for Team 1's Amon-Ra might, I don't know if it'll target the middle. The SMD is now loaded. Team 1 would assume that's loaded by now. This might be a good target. Just wipe everything else up to the north and allow the invasion to happen. Essentially have a mirror situation between the south and the north. Third satellite almost done for Team 2. Nuke is outbound, and hey, look where it's going. It's going there. And Fat Boy goes, oh yeah, I should probably fall back. This is when Team 1 should be pushing. Yep, there it is. The command has been given. And satellites targeting the air grid for Team 1's Amon-Ra. Shield is down. Pigeons are down. That's not looking good. But Nuke is inbound. And it's going to kill off some stuff. Fat Boy probably should be fine. Kaboom! Wipes out some facilities. Wipes out all of the stationary artillery. One Ravager remains. It sees the death of all the everything next to it, though, and goes, I don't like that. Third satellite online for Team 2's Jenana. Amon-Ra still not targeted. I'm surprised by those satellites from Team 2. And Team 1 is essentially now holed up in their base of Zelby. Satellite inbound to take out more of the mexes. Another Fat Boy being built incredibly quickly by Suri. Really wants to get that thing online sooner rather than later. It's going to be number 4. Very close. It's going to really outpace the damage from Team 2. Oh, it's almost done. We have some PD being built. Team 1, T2. No T3 yet. The shielding needs to hold. They probably want to kill off the satellite from Team 1. Team 1, oh my goodness. Team 1 bomber spam is inbound. And I would assume they're targeting the fatties, because what else would you target at this point? Fatty is going to die here for Suri. He's going to get one replaced, though, from that. Oh, the bombers are targeting all of the Percys, not the Fat Boys. I feel like that's kind of a missed opportunity, but anyway. SMD. Ooh, SMD. It's going down. We have a parashield. Maybe it'll be enough. No. Oh, it's dead. Parashield is down. Fat Boys are now down. Team 2, do you have a nuke stored somewhere? No. And that's going to be probably the end of that push. The satellites are obviously a concern. anyways. Shielding is going to go down. That's not going to go well. P-gens are targeted, of course. And the attack from Team 2 is halted. But again, 4 satellites. 4 satellites online is a lot. Artillery T3 variety is coming online for Betagy. Satellite online for Alex. Attacks in the north still commencing. Fat Boys retreating. This might be enough to stop the push. Gunships inbound as well. Strat bombers as well. 4 satellites. I'm surprised they're not targeting a player or 2 at this point. No more SMD, says Alex. There's one right there. What are you talking about? It's literally one right there in the middle of the map, right there. Nuke, half loaded once again, killed off 58,000 mass with that first nuke to the north. There's really nothing left though for Team 1. Team 2, I mean, their eco is really keeping them alive here. 1.4, I mean, they're pressuring the south. Team 1 fought back, but 4 satellites soon to be maybe 5? Nope, just 4. Tons of AA being built. T2 and T3 variety. Love the variety there. Something being built back there, I would assume. 43 minutes on the clock. Artillery started, but just halted in favor of GCs. And satellites from Team 1 targeting the Eco-Form Mythologist. SMD is the target as well. But 3 Fat Boys to the north is going to be more than enough to push back whatever else Team 1 has. Second satellite online for Alex. So it's 3 satellites versus 4 satellites. And Stoneanger's still alive, being, again, assisted by the protection of the shield, but the T3 air headquarters for Team 1's Amon-Ra is not looking good. GC inbound, and there's really not a lot left on the ground for Team 1. There is a Fat Boy moving in to assist. Fat Boys with a decent amount of AA moving in. Like I said, there's really nothing left that Team 2 has over here. They're essentially betting the farm on this attack, at least killing off the satellite, I would assume. The SMD is gone. Another Fat Boy being built. GC in the base. Alex might be the first departure of the game. He needs to watch out. He needs to get out of there. He has no gun upgrade, but the GC is in the lowish reg. Maybe an overcharge will be enough. Team 1 bombers inbound to assist. Just like watch the paint on those E-storages. Ooh, yeah, that's not good. Shields are down. Shields are down. Ravager is dealing with the remaining forces from Team 2. Team 1 spam is being dealt with by the satellite. Ooh, the shield comes back online. Looks like both satellites are perfectly fine. And now he's going to be the target. T3 air headquarters actually ignored. That's a little bit of benefit for Team 1. And strat bombers are going to be intercepted by the ASFs having a fight over top of a Fat Boy for Team 2. And it's not looking good. Satellite is down. Satellite emitters. Generators are down. I keep saying emitters. And trying to get more shields online. It's hard to face up against 4 satellites. You really need to take them out at the source. We have 2 Fat Boys slowly moving in. And we have 3 Fat Boys in the north wiping everything out up there. The satellites up here can't defend, says Judah. Or, sorry, not Judah, but Hidalgo. I feel like these satellites should move to this position and just slowly help deal with all of this stuff. It's going to be a race to the bottom with those satellites. 1 satellite station is down. Second one has been targeted. There's no shielding surrounding it. That is unfortunate. They're trying to build that T3. Oh, it's not close. Nope, there it goes. Fat Boy maybe going to try to assist with its shield. But now that second satellite is down. 1 remains for Team 1, being the one for Zelby. 46. Still nobody dead. There is still nobody dead for Team 1 or Team 2 at 46. I didn't even talk about, middle of the map. Who do you think is going to win this game? Who do you think is going to win this game? Let me know down in the comments. It's kind of late. I usually do about a halftime report. But that did not happen this game. I got too distracted with everything else happening. Alex really trying to stay alive. Rascom's being targeted. That's never fun. And I think the Eco is just going to bury Team 1 at this point. If these 2 Fat Boys can get into this position, it might be enough. We have T2 artillery, T3 Ravagers. We have a Fat Boy done. Team 1 needs to send a ton of their attention here. Don't know if they know they're there, so I don't know why strap bombers haven't been built. I don't know why anything else hasn't been built. Maybe target the SMD if they can. Fat Boys are moving in, and SACU is blowing up to the north. Again, we have 3 Fat Boys. Lasers coming to say hi. Hidalgo pulling back. Shields are back online for now. But those aren't going to last. The west side has collapsed. But this eastern side doesn't look good. Alex control case. First departure of the game goes to him. Don't count that as a kill. And all of those parashields. Oh, no. Oh, that's never fun. Here I'll go, still alive. Nuke is loaded. It's actually ready for a second one as well. Satellite's now focusing on Zelby's position. Shielding essentially is down. Oh, then you need to target the Fat Boy. The Fat Boys need to target the Fat Boy. Nuke is outbound. It's going to the north. Maybe it'll intercept the Fat Boys. Who knows? One of them isn't moving. Another one, I don't know if that was the Nuke. Hidalgo control case. That's another departure for Team 1. 5B3 in Team 2's favor. We have the comm of PM coming to say hi. Now a GC going right through the front door of Zelby. There's the explosion there. There's the explosion there. Kaboom! Wipes out 2 of the 3 Fat Boys. That's something. It slows down the aggression at a minimum, but this GC is going to wreak havoc, especially with the satellites over top. And GC's now dead. But PJ, oh, there it goes. Zelby in the yellow now, and it looks like the attack in the south gets stopped. So that might essentially be the end for Team 1. They didn't capitalize on the air when they had it. They have another nuke. It's loaded, ready to fire, and there he goes. Killed off by satellites or Control K, but probably the satellites. Now it's Amon-Ra, and it's Surrey left. Nuke isn't going to get hit by the satellites. And it's inbound for this. There's really nothing here. There's one fatty, but that's about it. Transport might get... No, it should be fine, actually. There it goes. Fat Boy too late to the party to move. Kaboom! Wipes it out. That's 3 Fat Boys dead to that nuke. 4th Fat Boy dead in the north is gone. Amon-Ra is still alive. We have Surrey still alive. Looks like everything else for Team 1 is gone, though. They only have the nuke, and that's now being hit by 4 satellites. And maybe if Team 1 went for this position... And again, a lot of this attack power from Team 2 is coming from these 4 satellites. They're wiping a lot of the infrastructure out, allowing Team 2 to still just push, while Team 1's hurrying to defend all the nonsense. And Air Grid still alive. T3 Air Facility somehow still alive. Shielding, holding. But Team 1's on their last legs. A ton of ASFs are just gathering in the southeast for whatever reason. And it's not looking too hot for Team 1. Almost a flawless game on the... It is a flawless game on the cards for Team 2. And now the satellite's targeting an easier target. That's being Surrey. Pigeons are gone. SMDs are gone. No, not good things are happening for Team 1. Good things happening for Team 2. Strap Bombers raining in on this Fat Boy. ASFs might get it. Yes, they do. But those were only 3 Strap Bombers anyways. But there's so many more defenses now that it's not worth it. Not worth it to send the Fat Boys in. There's 5 of them online for Team 1. Team 2, are you building anything? Artillery in the background. And that's another Fat Boy, but that's really about it. Just Fat Boys, more Fat Boys, and now Surrey's base is gone for the most part. Team 1's still not out of this yet, but 50 minutes on the clock. Not really looking good. We have TAC missile snipes inbound for try to take out something. And the satellite's now wiping out the remainder of Zelby's base. Targeting all of the power for Team 1. Ooh, not looking good. He's about to drop. Really trying to manage it as much as possible, but I don't think it's not there. Focus Sat says, Bettergy, just target this. He says, I mean, that's the last bastion of hope for Team 1 right there. Artillery has been started. It's in the yellow. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be enough. Nuke is almost loaded. It did kill off 132,000 mass, so it's definitely paid for itself. But artillery is now done for Team 2's Bettergy. And I wonder where it's targeting the shields. Oh, they come off for a brief moment. I'm on a rock control case. He sees the end in sight. There goes the last of the shields down. And the last remaining player of Team 1, he teleports out. He calls it a day. And that is it. 51 minutes, 34 seconds on the clock. Team 2 wins the game. A flawless victory for them. And it honestly just came down to the satellites from Team 2's Genana. That eastern side was looking not great, but he had enough time to just spam up satellites. It did a lot of economic damage. 180,000 73,000, 95,000, 100. So these things killed off over 300,000 mass worth of stuff. Definitely paid for itself. I'm surprised that Team 2 didn't lean into those a little bit more, but you know, it could have been all over if Suri had pushed in and killed off these, but it just didn't get there either fast enough or just didn't push hard enough or whatever. That was it. Game is now over. Hopefully everybody enjoyed. If you did, let me know down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching to the very end of the video. MVP for me, like I said, I think it has to go to Jenna from those satellites. Everything else was pretty much a back and forth for the most part from everybody. Thanks so much for watching to the very end of the video as always, and I will see all of you in the next one.